story begins not in a bustling city, but in the quiet corners of England, places where the most dangerous thing used to be a fox stealing chickens. Villages with stone cottages, cobbled streets, and that peaceful silence you can only find miles away from the nearest motorway. But over the past few years, something has changed. A new and invisible war has started, and the enemy is not what most people would expect. It is not a foreign invader, or even a traditional organized crime family. It is a network of teenage boys and young men, many of Somali origin, pulled into a system so ruthless that it has turned small countryside towns into hotbeds of drugs, violence, and fear. The story of the Somali county lines gangs is not just about crime. It is about desperation, survival, broken systems, and in England many people do not even know exists. These are not Hollywood-style mafia bosses. These are young men, often recruited as teenagers, many born in the UK, others brought in as refugees. And yet somehow they end up holding machetes, running crack cocaine empires, and turning sleepy villages into crime scenes. To understand this story, we have to start with one of the most overlooked but powerful operations in the UK's underworld, county lines. It is called county lines because of the way drugs are transported from large cities into smaller rural areas, crossing police boundaries and jurisdictional lines. A burner phone, sometimes called the line, acts as the lifeline between city dealers and rural users. These phones are passed between gang members like sacred objects. Every customer knows the number, every order is placed through it, and behind each line there is usually a young runner risking his life for a few £100s. But here is where things get darker. The gangs do not just send anyone to deliver the drugs, they often send children. Kids as young as 12 or 13 are recruited, groomed, and manipulated. They are chosen because they are less likely to attract attention. They are easier to control. They are more disposable. And increasingly, many of these children come from Somali communities. Now, this is not just a Somali problem. County lines involve gangs from many backgrounds. But in some parts of the country, especially East London, Birmingham, and Manchester, Somali gangs have carved out territories. Some of them operate like franchises, sending younger members into places like Norfolk, Lincolnshire, and Devon. These are places where police forces are not used to gang activity, where locals might not even know what county lines means. That is exactly why these gangs go there. Less competition, more profit. One former gang member, who goes by the name Ahmed, spoke to a journalist under condition of anonymity. He said he started running lines at the age of 15. He was told it was just a few trips. Take a train, drop off a package, and come home. Easy money. At first, it felt like a game. But then came the threats. Miss a drop, lose a package, and they would come for you. They would come for your family. Suddenly, Ahmed was trapped, and he is not alone. The grooming process is subtle at first. It often begins in schools. Older boys hang around outside the gates. They flash cash, wear designer clothes, and talk about money and respect. For kids growing up in poverty, often in homes with little stability, the lure is powerful. Especially for Somali boys, many of whom grow up facing racism, limited job prospects, and social exclusion. They are told that no one will give them a chance. But the gang will. The gang is a family. The gang will protect you. Except it is a lie, because once you are in, there is no real way out. Many of these gangs use extreme violence to maintain control. In 2020, a 15-year-old boy named Ali was found dead in a wooded area in Kent. He had been stabbed multiple times. Police believe he was involved in a county lines network and was killed over a territory dispute. His mother had reported him missing days earlier. She said she had no idea he was even involved with drugs. That is how hidden these operations are. Families are often the last to know. What makes this situation even more complex is the way the gangs operate. They rarely use their own homes. Instead, they use a tactic called cuckooing. This means they take over the home of a vulnerable person, often an addict or someone with mental health issues. They move in, set up shop, and use the property as a base. The original occupant is either forced out or kept as a prisoner in their own home. In some cases, they're even used as mules. Cuckooing is hard to spot. From the outside, nothing looks strange. But inside, the situation can be terrifying. In one case in Lincolnshire, police found a 76-year-old man living in squalor, surrounded by drug paraphernalia. He had been too scared to report the men who took over his home. He said they threatened to burn the place down if he spoke. So why is this happening in quiet villages? Because there is demand. Drug addiction does not care about geography. There are users in every corner of the UK, and in rural areas, drug services are often underfunded. Police departments are stretched thin. Ambulance wait times are long. All of this creates a perfect storm. Gangs see these places as soft targets, and they are right. Now, not all Somali young men are involved in gangs. Most are not. But for those who are, the reasons are layered. Many came to the UK as refugees or are children of refugees. Their parents fled war zones, poverty, or persecution. They hoped for a better life. But what they found was often racism, unemployment, and housing estates full of broken promises. Community centers closed, youth programs cut, schools are overwhelmed. In that vacuum, gangs filled the space. There are also deeper issues of identity. Some young Somali men feel stuck between two cultures. At home, they are expected to uphold traditional values. Outside, they are treated like outsiders. Some speak of never feeling fully British, but also not fully Somali. That identity crisis creates a vulnerability, and gangs exploit that. They offer a sense of belonging that many cannot find elsewhere. It is important to recognize that the Somali community has been sounding the alarm for years. Local leaders, imams, mothers, and teachers, many have begged the government for more support, but the responses have often been too little, too late. The police raid a few houses, make a few arrests, and then move on. But the lines keep running. New kids take the place of the ones arrested. It is like trying to plug a dam with chewing gum. Some organizations have tried to intervene. In parts of London, there are mentorship programs where former gang members talk to at-risk youth. There are safe houses for kids trying to escape. There are even WhatsApp hotlines where parents can report suspicious behavior anonymously. But these programs are underfunded and overwhelmed. One youth worker named Miriam described the situation as a ticking time bomb. She said she sees boys as young as 11 being approached, and she sees the fear in their eyes when they say they have no choice. Some have already seen friends killed. Some have been stabbed. Others have stabbed someone else. And they are still just kids. In one chilling case, police in Norfolk arrested a 16-year-old boy found with a machete, 50 wraps of heroin, and a burner phone. He had been sent from Birmingham to run the line. He was alone. He did not even have enough money for food. When asked why he did it, he said it was either this or getting beaten up back home. The justice system is struggling to keep up. Many of these young people are victims as much as they are offenders, but the law is not designed to handle that gray area. Some get charged as adults. Others fall through the cracks entirely. Judges are forced to choose between punishment and protection, and the lines are getting blurrier every year. And the damage is not just to the kids. Rural communities are changing. Locals report seeing needles in parks. There are more burglaries, more overdoses. People are scared to walk at night. Some even sell their homes and move away. Villages that once felt like safe havens now feel like battlegrounds. So what is the solution? It starts with understanding that this is not just a policing problem. It is a social crisis. You cannot arrest your way out of it. There need to be more support systems for families, better mental health services, community engagement, youth programs that actually mean something, and yes, better cooperation between police forces across counties. The gangs are organized, the response must be too. The Somali community must also be part of the conversation, not blamed, but empowered. These are not problems they created, but they are often the ones most affected. Silence will not solve this, but neither will finger pointing. The kids caught in these systems are not monsters. Many are scared, traumatized, and alone. If you sat down with them, you might hear stories of abuse, hunger, and fear. You might realize they never wanted this life. But when the only other option is hopelessness, some will choose survival, no matter the cost. County lines is not just an urban issue anymore. It is in the fields, the farms, the villages, and the coastlines, and unless something changes, it will only grow stronger, more violent, and more invisible. Because this is not just about drugs, this is about what happens when society fails its children. This is about how England's quietest places became its most dangerous battleground.